So you're probably wondering, is Vykas worth the effort? And I have to say, the raid is fantastic. It's really, really difficult and definitely a big step up from the previous raids, especially when it comes to pugging and finding people via the party finder. However, it is worth it just for little moments like this. By Amanda. Alright, we're gonna go craft. Let's see what happens here. We're gonna go craft these, because these are harsh oath, so we can get rid of that. See what quality we got. Get any luck? Oh! What? What? So if you are struggling with Vykas, we're going to break down why that might be, how to look out for issues in your group, and how to really nullify those issues as quickly as possible while being as kind and non-toxic as you'd really want someone to be when you're looking to do a raid with a bunch of random. So anyway, let's get into it. Why are you struggling with the Vykas raid? Let me break it down for you. Okay, so in front of you now, you have my own little Excel created spreadsheet for the Vykas raid. I always had this up on my second monitor just so I could constantly look at what is happening and when, and then slowly it would kind of, integrate into my brain, and I'll become like muscle memory at certain health bars. The link to this is in the description. I've used a brilliant infographic from Reddit. The credit to that goes to the gentleman. The link is down below. Thank you to that man. His name is Zirinchi. Thank you, Zirinchi. I basically used that, but then I added notes to it as I was playing through and kind of added my own experience, and just so I could kind of figure out maybe the little bits of detail that weren't quite in the tidy shorthand infographic. So yeah, that's there for you. Link down below. Put it up on your second screen. It will help a lot. Okay, let's break down which parts of this people struggle at and why communication is such a huge part of this raid. Why I genuinely feel this is the first of the endgame content that has been released where I really think it's hard, especially at this stage, to carry people who really don't have a clue. And that's why I think helping those and maybe getting them to talk about their issues and why they're dying is going to be a big challenge for a lot of players early on. And hopefully this video will help. So anyway, let's go. So gate 1. As you can see, gate 1, I'm going to zoom in on gate 1 here. Go Vykas gate 1. So at 49 bars, you've got the gate mechanic. The gate mechanic will basically always have fixed areas and colours. So you'll always know what you're getting, so you need to call out your spot and get it. Now, the main thing here is to understand the order of the colours, okay? Now, I put on the spreadsheet here, red, blue, green, white, black is the order, and really, you just need to memorise this part for this mechanic. In normal mode, you can get away with messing up gates. In hard, you cannot, which is why I do insist on doing the mechanics in normal first, just so that when you do migrate to hard, it's a lot easier. So what are the main things to look out for in this mechanic? Well, I've got the video running in the background, and really, for me, it's understanding, as soon as you see what colour your gate is, understanding what your rotation is going to be to get the ball in the gate. Now, for example, if you see that your gate is red, you know you can't get red straight away. You just know that's not going to happen. So you have to start taking the long way around for the second red rotation. The same thing is, if let's say you get white, you should be able to get that in on first rotation. Green is a funny one. It really depends on the speed of your character and how quickly you react to the initial ball spawn. But white and black can go in first rotation. Red and blue have to go in second rotation. Green depends on the speed of your character and how quick you react to seeing the gate and getting the ball aggro. The gate never asks you for a black orb, so you can ignore black. Black's just the final one in the rotation. And that's really about it. It's just about not panicking on the rotation. What does help is you can either just type in chat the order and just tell people not to spam chat, so red, blue, green, white, black, or RBGWB, or you can rename your pet, is what something I learned from ATK. He said, rename your pet, it might help. That can help as well, so that's one way of doing it. Let's move on to the stagger memory orb mechanic. This one, simply take positions, memorize the pattern, and collect the balls that match the orb that's above your head. Very simple. You can get away with missing a few in normal. In hard, you cannot. So again, get this down in normal, memorize the pattern, make sure you go into the stagger mechanic first, stagger him, and then this mechanic will start. Really, the first gate doesn't require a huge amount of communication until 25 bars, where one side will see 4 black orbs right here, and one side will see 1 white orb and 3 black orbs. You simply need to type in chat the position of the white orb if you see a white orb, so the other team can go into their safe zone. So take responsibility for it. If you see it, just type 9, 6, 3, 12, whatever it is, type it. The other team will be safe. Done. Really, that's about it. The first gate is not too heavy. You can go through this gate, I believe, with no communication on Discord or anything like that. Simply requires you to take responsibility, and that is a huge part of this raid, is taking responsibility for your role. If you see others making a mistake, be polite about it, let them know, or ask them what you're struggling with and fix that issue for them. Again, talking about taking responsibility, don't wait for others to type the safe zone, type it yourself. On the 36 bar mechanic and on the 12 bar mechanic, after doing the stagger and the orb pattern, you'll get an inner outer safe zone. Just call what you see. If you see a safe zone near him, it's inner. If you see no safe zone near him, it's outer. It's that simple. Type it in chat quickly, in, out. The other team will hopefully react to what you type. Okay, moving on, gate 2. So gate 2 is where really I feel that the need for communication becomes quite important, and unless you've got a group of 8 people who really do know what they're doing inside out, I think this is quite a tough one to do without voice communication. Now that's because there's some key information that needs communicating quickly, and the time you have to react from somebody typing, reading it and then reacting is quite small really, especially when you're initially getting into the raid. So we're going to break down each phase here as per the infographic and my notes below on the spreadsheet, and we'll break down why I think it's difficult and what you really need to look out for and react to quickly on the key mechanics. So let's get into gate 2. So 144 is lasers, and you need to be responsible for your own laser. You need to see where the rest of your team is in relation to yourself. You need to go clockwise, spread out enough, and basically go into clockwise motion and wait for the laser to kind of bloom to go to the edge of the circle, and then you'll miss it if you keep moving. Now, one thing I see here is that if you kind of see someone near you, you need to slow down yourself to create that gap. Again, take responsibility for that. Slow down yourself, wait for a gap and go into the gap. A lot of people, again, they're kind of sat in silence waiting for other people to kind of make a move and fix their mistake. And you know, sometimes when pugging, you're going to have to be that guy. If you're not, you are just going to continually wipe, continually burn pots. So it is down to on an individual level. I'm going to keep repeating this. This raid is about execution on an individual level. So again, if you see that there's no gap between the guys in front of you, slow down, wait for the merry-go-round to go around, slot into a gap, and go around in a circle, wait for the lasers to come out. Very easy mechanic once you get it down. So 120 orbs, you do have, 120 bars, you do have the illusion of orbs mechanic. So in this mechanic, you'll have 3 clones. They're going to spawn at 11, 3, and 7, and you're going to have 5 people collect orbs. 3 of those orbs are going to be either red or purple. The other 2 are going to be the opposite color. And really, without comms, the key information on this section is as follows. 11, 7, and 3 need to clearly type out what they see. It needs to be, for example, I'm going to type it here so you can see. So if you are typing, let me type it so nobody can see. There we go. So if you're at 11 and you see 2 wings, it's for that mechanic 11, 2. And if you're at 5, it'll be, you know, 5, 0. Okay. Example. So that's basically what you would do for the mechanic if you're calling out the wings. The guys in the middle need to collect the orb. Each need to assign yourself a position and gather in the middle. Don't wander off, because you need to see what the majority is, and somebody, probably you, need to take responsibility on where they're going and ping. And it requires you to have the information that purple is 0 wings and red is 2. So if you see a majority of purple here, you need to ping straight away to wherever you need to go. It's either going to be purple 0, red 2. The second one is always the person with 1 wings. And after that, it's pretty much process elimination. You go to the one you haven't already been to.
Phantom of desire. You have to observe closely and not get bewitched by the illusion.
South. 11 after this.
On play. Now, if you're playing in a team with no Discord, this really comes down to assigning roles in chat and having somebody type out the information quickly, concisely, so people can read it and make a decision quickly. If people cannot read it and make a decision quickly, you need to be the guy who calls and pings instantly. For example, if you see that you've got a majority of purple here and you see 0 rings is called 11 o'clock, you instantly ping 11 and you run towards it, hoping your team follow you. Again, without comms, it's a bit hairy. It needs people to react quickly and understand the mechanic, and that may be down to you to explain to people. Again, 90 bars then, after that is 144 bars. The same laser mechanic as I said before, merry-go-round, run around clockwise. Then you got Black Orbs eating. I do find Black Orbs eating to be easier than Illusion Orbs, just because it requires... it does require the same communication, but one person can make up for a mistake. The mechanic is pretty straightforward. Again, normally just keep the players the same. The guy who's at 3 goes to 5, and you call when you see the black pulse from the clone. Now, if you're the spare, ping quickly which one you're going to go to. So from the spares, talk to each other and say, look, I will ping where I'm going to go, and then you go to the other one, because one will always spawn with 2, so you don't need someone to go to it, and the other 2 will spawn with 3 black orbs, so you need the spares to go to it. Now, if your players here know what they're doing and they see 2 black orbs in a row, they can actually eat both by using a time stop. But basically, just to get good practice, when you see, if let's say 11 calls that there's going to be 3 black orbs, ping instantly 11, you go, and that means the other spare will go to the other one, 7, and 5 is 2. So basically, keep an eye on the chat. You're going to be seeing something like this. I say do numbers, it's easier. So 11 o'clock says 1 is black, 3 is black, 5 is black. You definitely have to go to that if you're the spare. If they type 1, 2, 3, you don't have to go because, well, technically the person could take 2 with a time stop, but you should probably go anyway, just in case they mess up. There will always be 1 that spawns only 2 black. So for example, 1, 2, you don't have to go there because they've got 2 people there already. And again, going back to the communication thing here, the people typing need to be clear. What you don't want to see is this. You don't want to see people typing. I mean, you don't know where that is, you don't know which of the positions that is, you don't know where you need to go. The person needs to type their position, the communication needs to be clear, and it needs to be 3, 4, 5, or whatever their order is, or whatever pulse they see. They're only typing in the black pulses, not the red ones.
One spare needs to come south. Artisans, you guys take the first 2. That 5's done. Well played. Nice.
Finally, moving on to the last section. Now, actually, once you've done black orbs, the eating of the black orbs, really the rest of it is relatively straightforward. You basically, at 50 bars, Vykas will give a debuff each time you get hit. Once you get 3 debuffs, you'll basically get an explosion cone. You need to drop that cone off at the edge of the map facing outwards. The cone is the way you're facing. You need to be facing outwards, deposit the cone, and run back towards the middle to avoid hitting your teammates and to do damage to the enemy. It's that simple. Again, this is individual responsibility. If you get the cone, rush to the edge, face outwards. Once you deposit the purple poop, you run back inside and continue damage. That is as simple as that. Once that is done, it is over and you're on to gate 3.
Take it outwards, take it outwards. Take the poop out.
I do want to talk about one of the mechanics in Gate 2 that does get a lot of people, and that is the purple ring mechanic. Now, the purple ring basically targets one person with a purple ring above their head. The other people get your standard red target. Now, it's really important that you make the person, whoever it is that gets the purple ring, they need to ping where they're going, and you need to go the opposite direction. If you are really close to the guy with the purple ring, I'd stay near him and go in the tiny safe spot he creates. Otherwise, you want to hightail it to the opposite end of the map and run as far away as possible. And that's really it for Gate 2. Again, if you're not on Discord, this is about typing clearly and people being able to read what's typed and basically herd their team towards the correct area. If you are not capable of doing that by reading and then quickly pinging the people following you, it's going to be a real struggle. There's no other way to put it. If you've got 8 guys who know this raid inside out, they know that if they see red, they know to go to straight away 11-2. They can all make the decisions themselves and they can go do it. But if you're on a team that isn't, you need to make it clear. You're going to go to where the ping is on the first mechanic and you're going to lead the ping. You're going to react. So you're going to see a purple majority of orbs in the middle for the illusion orb mechanic. You're instantly going to go to 0 rings, which hopefully your team have communicated as 7 o'clock is 0 rings. You're going to see 7-0. You see a majority purple, you're running to 7, you're then running to 1, then you're running to 0. And that's that, really. It's easy as that, lol. Anyway, moving on to Gate 3, which is where, again, it's so easy if everyone knows what they're doing, because she doesn't actually have a lot of health, but if you don't know what you're doing, this can take forever. Let's break down Gate 3.